you love to travel and save money? Or do you wish you could travel but money is holding you back? You're in the right place. Welcome to the Families Fly Free podcast, where I show you how to fly your family free forever using my simple fly free formula. I'm your host, Lynn Mettler. My family of four has mastered the art of flying free as simply as possible since 2015, and I want to show your family how to do it too. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Families Fly Free podcast. I'm your host, Lynn Mettler, and today we're going to interrupt our regularly planned podcast topic schedule for some breaking news as of this moment on March 11th, 2025. So Southwest today announced quite a few major changes that a lot of people aren't happy about, to be sure. But we're going to talk about today what these changes actually mean, what they are, first of all, what that means for us who are trying to use travel rewards to fly for free. And ultimately, I'm going to explain to you why this is not the end of the world. Now, I don't love how they've done some of these changes. They're definitely disappointing. But ultimately, in terms of how they affect us, there's just a couple of slight modifications that we need to make. So far, this is not much of a big deal if you follow my system. So a lot of people are making this out to be the end of the world and whatnot, and it really isn't. Don't get sucked into that. And remember, I have no affiliation with Southwest Airlines. I'm just always trying to look out for what is the simplest and the best way to fly your whole family for free. And if that continues to be Southwest Airlines, that's what we're going to be sharing with you. If it becomes something else, I will be sure to let you know that. Right now, Southwest is still for sure the best option to fly for free. So, number of changes today. Again, it is disappointing how they've done some of these. It is out of character for Southwest, and that's unfortunate. I really wish they hadn't done things this way. So let's delve in and let's talk about what the changes are, and then we'll get into what that means for you, what changes you need to make as a result of this. So first of all of these changes, they say, will be for flights booked May 28th of 2025 and forward. So you're going to want to pay attention to that date, and you may want to be doing some things ahead of that date before these things come into play. The first thing that I already addressed on a special bonus podcast last week was, without making any announcement, they changed the number of points that you can earn on paid flights. That means you're booking in cash, not with points. And so they dramatically cut the number of points you would earn on the cheapest fare, and they increased by 2 points the number of points you would earn on their highest business select fare. Now, that really does in no way impact my system because we don't ever earn points booking paid flights. We earn our points in other ways. That is just not a good way to earn points unless you have, work for somebody and they're paying for your flights and you're earning the points while they're paying for it. Otherwise, if it involves you paying for the flights, this is not a good way to fly for free because that's not flying for free. You're still paying for flights. So we earn our points. You can go back and listen to that podcast. I'll link it in the show notes, but we earn our points through travel cards, through Rapid Rewards shopping, through Rapid Rewards dining, through booking hotels. That's how we earn our Southwest points. And I shared that list of 101 ways you can earn Southwest points. And just, I think, only 4 of them involve booking flights. So there's plenty of other ways. So that's number 1. We've already talked about that. Number 2, and this is the big disappointing one, is they're ending the 2 free checked bags policy. So that stinks because that's been such a great perk of Southwest Airlines. But here's the thing. There's still ways you can get some checked bags. So they've eliminated free checked bags for all fare types except Business Select, which is the highest fare type, which is generally not what I recommend booking. But the way around this is if you have a list, and I have put together inside a Families Fly Free a pretty darn good way to earn a list that would be good for this year and all of next year. It would result in some out of pocket, but minimal. And I show you lots of tricks and ways to reduce that cost. And I think based on these changes, a-list is becoming more and more attractive. So that's a perk that you would get a free checked bag if you were A-list. And then you would also get a free checked bag, one per card holder. Now, they didn't really go into details about this. So, like, for example, I'm not sure if I have the Southwest card, but my husband doesn't, and I'm A-list. Do I get two free checked bags? Or can he check a bag? I don't know. But it sounds like you would at least get one per card holder. So that sounds like you don't get one per card, just one if you hold any Southwest cards, even if you hold multiple. So we'll talk about what that change means here in a minute. So there's ways around that one. And it's also going to mean you may want to shift more to carry-on bags, which we have already made that shift anyway. We already did during the pandemic when it seemed like bags were getting lost and things were crazy. And so here and there, we will still check a bag, but we try not to if we can avoid it. So I think this shouldn't be a big deal. I think a lot of people have moved in that direction. And so maybe you might still need to check one, and maybe you can take advantage of your free check bag, and then you can bring carry-ons for the rest. Number three is they have changed their fare type. So basically, they have done away with the cheapest fare type, which was want to get away, or they've renamed it as basic. And I don't know why they renamed it, because basic just sounds like every other airline. And want to get away is so tied in with their brand. That's a strange move. I'm guessing it's because they wanted you to think they weren't taking away from want to get away, but rather they're adding a new lower fare type, would be my guess. So this one says you can't make any changes. And so if that's the case, that's a bummer, because we do a lot of Southwest has always allowed you to make a free change. And if the points, that's how we do a lot of our, if the points price drops, you can make a change and get the points put back in your account. So if we're not going to be able to make changes, then you're not going to be able to do that. But it's unclear if that's just in cash or if it is in points too. Now, we've come up with already, and I'm sure we'll be coming up with more, a workaround for that we're sharing inside of Families Fly Free. And again, my members had an email on their phone and in their inbox this morning as soon as these changes occurred. Once I had a chance to look at them and process them, and then let them know the changes and my recommendations and analysis. And so that's what they get about any major change like this or any travel news that's coming down the pipeline, is they get my analysis on it, and they get it very quickly. So that's a definite perk of being a Families Fly Free member. So the basic fare also loses same-day standby. So this is another disappointment in that they just added that like maybe a year ago, same-day standby as a benefit for all fare types. So now basically they're taking that away, or I think they're adding basic so they don't have to say they're taking it away. They're just adding a fare type that doesn't come with any of these things. And so there was some nifty things you can do with same-day standby, and also with same-day change, which comes with the next highest fare, which is Want to Get Away Plus. So it appears to still maintain same-day change and same-day standby. But if you don't know our workaround, you're going to need to be booking Want to Get Away Plus fares in order to make changes and in order to get access to same-day standby. Keep in mind, if you've listened to my podcast before, and Southwest changes regarding assigned seating, that's already what I've been saying, is when they move to assigned seating, which will definitely start in early 2026, when we'll be able to book the first tickets seems to be in flux, but they've said toward the end of 2025. But once they move to assigned seating, we're going to need to Want to Get Away Plus anyway, unless you're by yourself and you really don't care where you sit at all, or you don't care if you don't sit with your family. Because the basic fare type, or the former want to get away, was going to come with no seating selection whatsoever. And so that would mean you would get what Southwest gave you. And we all know that the ones that are going to be left are the middle seats and the back of the plane. And so that's probably where you'd be, and not with your family. So at least with the open seating, we could at least try to pick seats where we could sit, close together, or at least two and two. Um, but this means unless they make it a priority or let you say, yes, I would like to sit with my family, and they try to do that, I don't know, that you could end up all spread out, all in middle seats, all in the back of the plane. So you're going to need to book one a getaway plus if you want to be able to pick your seat, um, and keep, be able to change your flight and have same day standby, etc. Um, and that's just basically going to mean you're going to need to pay a few more points. I don't know how many more points, but more points, which I don't find to be a big deal. We've had to pay more and more points over the years. I've been doing this for 10 years now, and I've seen things change a lot. And it hasn't been a problem that we have to pay more points. Under my system, we seem to always have enough points. So, all right, number 4 is travel credits, which they're calling flight credits in their announcement today. Once again, have an expiration date. So this is another bummer. Like, they made it so travel credits, that was a new perk. Travel credits never expire, which was nice. So now they've made them expire again. And so if you have the basic fare, that cheapest fare type, if you get a travel credit, it's going to expire in just 6 months. The rest of the fare types, that will expire in 12 months. And they've made them non-transferable again. The current travel credits you can transfer one time. And I should say non-transferable just for the basic fare. So this is, again, why I never recommend booking a Southwest flight in dollars. A, because we're not earning points that way, and B, because you have so much less flexibility. And if you do need to make a change, or you need to cancel your flight and you don't have a refundable flight, which these cheaper fare types are not going to be refundable in that way, you're going to end up with a travel credit. And these travel credits stink. So they were slightly better in that they didn't expire and we could transfer them to one person. But ones that expire and then are stuck to one person are really going to be a pain. And we have a method inside of Families Fly Free where we can show you how to combine a bunch of these travel credits together with love vouchers, if you've gotten some of those as well for any problems you've had on Southwest, and transfer them to one person. So now if you had a basic travel credit, you wouldn't be able to put that in the mix and transfer it to one person. And so again, I did this for a bunch of love vouchers and a handful of travel credits that I had. This past summer, I bunched them all together into $500 worth that I could use to book myself a flight. I moved them for my whole family, all of our love vouchers and travel credits into one, and then transferred it to me, because that's a way you can fly for free too. That doesn't involve points. So you really shouldn't be getting travel credits, particularly if you're booking in points, like I teach you to always. The only time that it happens on occasion in which I've ended up with a few because I wasn't paying attention is when you're canceling a flight on Southwest. It will ask you, and you've booked it in points, and you've paid the $5.60 per person per way, taxes and fees in cash, which you have to with a card. So if you cancel a points flight, it needs to know what to do with that $11.20 that you paid. And so you have to make sure you check the box to return it to your original method of payment. Otherwise, it's going to give you an $11.20 travel credit. And so then, like if you had a family of 4 and you canceled a flight, like everyone in your family is going to have that credit, and then try to remember that they have it and then try to get it all together, which you can. But again, it's not easy. It is a pain. So you don't want these things. So again, this just makes our recommendation to book in points all the more important. Another thing that I have shared with my members over the last week or so is that I've noticed, I haven't seen anyone else say this yet, that the points prices compared to the cash prices are quite low. So normally for the points prices that we're seeing, you would pay a much lower cash price. The cash prices seem to be quite high. This ratio between the two is off of what it normally is. And so normally Southwest points, they can be worth 1.5 to 2 cents, but more often than not, they're about 1.5 to 1.6 cents. And you get that by dividing the cash price divided by the points price times 100 will give you how many cents their points are worth. So right now their points are valuing it more in the 1.7 to 1.9 cent range, which is pushing the cash price higher. Now, I'm no financial expert. I'm not sure why they're doing this. I don't know if it's a mistake. I don't know if it's a way to try to encourage use of points to get them off their books, because as I understand it, the points and the travel credits that they have on their books are a liability on their balance sheet, and they are trying to become profitable. So this is pure speculation. Again, I'm not a financial expert, but so it could be that they're trying to get these off, and they're trying to encourage people to use their points to get them off the balance sheet, because that's something that they owe to someone. If you have points outstanding, you know, that's an amount they owe to you. And so they want that liability off. So right now, I'm just telling you, it seems to be a good time to book because the points prices are quite low. So we let our members know every time there's a Southwest sale, and we give them an analysis if this is a good sale or not, because Southwest has a lot of sales almost every single week, and most of them aren't good. But the last couple we've seen have been pretty good. And when I looked yesterday, there were quite a few flights for 2,500 points one way, or 3,000 to 5,000. So this could be a good time to be booking, especially knowing that you're going to lose some perks and benefits as of May 28th. So again, this might be a reason to consider buying points, and you want to be careful buying points. We have a great strategy for when and how to buy points, so that you buy them at their cheapest. You don't want to buy them at checkout because they're going to see you need, oh, you're short some, certain number of points. You can just buy them here, and they're always way more if you do it that way. So there's better ways to buy points, and that really you can buy them at their cash values. There's really no difference in price as if you booked it in cash versus buying the points and booking it that way. And you're going to end up paying less if you book in points. Really, at this juncture, if you can buy points at 1.5 cents and they're actually charging, or they're worth more than that, you're getting a much better deal. So some things to think about. Okay. Let's go on to our next potential change. So other outlets are reporting changes coming to the points value, hinting at a devaluation of points. And what I just explained was the points seem to be going up in value, which is the opposite of what we would expect to see. And I gave you my speculation of why that may be the case. And it is probably an indicator that we're going to start to see a devaluation of points soon. Now, I don't have confirmation of that from Southwest, and I did reach out to them to ask for confirmation of that, and I have not gotten confirmation of it. I'll provide an update if I do, because I always, as a journalist, as a longtime journalist, I always confirm things directly. I never take as fact a secondary source. So that's another possibility, at least, that other people are reporting. And lastly, I did check, and as of right now, there's no changes to Companion Pass. So that's good news for the moment. And again, all the more reason to get a Companion Pass in hand right now in case changes could be coming to that as well. And to that point, I just want to say that travel rewards are always changing. So this feels like a shock, not something we were expecting, but these kinds of things go on all the time. Delta did a tremendous devaluation over the last couple of years that upset a lot of people. And we do seem to be seeing kind of a correction in travel post-pandemic, where a lot of people did a lot of traveling, and then we're kind of seeing it balance itself out right now. So again, over the 10 years I've been doing this, I have seen things change so very, very much. Um, Cards come and go, perks come and go, points values come and go. They're always devaluing their points over time. But you know what? We're still flying and staying for free. So it's still working. That's the good news. So this is why I think it's important to be a part of a program or a membership like Families Fly Free, so that you have access to what these changes are. You have real, truthful, factual, confirmed insight, and details about what they are and what they mean for you and what you need to do, and particularly following, a specific system. And we have always and will continue to evolve as changes occur, revising our strategy as needed to always give you the current best and simplest way to fly for free. And that is going to change over time. And we have to shift and adjust to figure out what that is. Now, before we get into, I wanted to go through what the changes were. And in a minute, we're going to talk about what they mean for you and what steps and actions you need to take as a result of this. But before we do that, I want to just reiterate that being a part of Families Fly Free allows you to get real-time notification of these changes as soon as they occur via my travel alert network, and get my personal analysis. You're getting it here today, but I don't always bring it to the podcast for every little thing. So you're getting my personal analysis as a veteran travel journalist and a longtime follower of the airline and travel industry, especially Southwest Airlines. And my members already knew about the points changes that I'm seeing in the sales and how to leverage that. And they had, again, a video from me in their inbox this morning explaining all these changes and how it would shift or impact them and the way I teach flying for free. Since I started in travel rewards 10 years ago, just looking at the companion pass, that has changed multiple times. And in fact, every time it's required more and more points to get it. I think it was originally 110,000 points when I first got the companion pass, and they keep upping the number of points you need to get. But we've just evolved our strategy, and it hasn't impacted in any way our ease of always flying for free. And even if they decide not to have the companion pass anymore, I have members who have never gotten a companion pass, actually, because they just didn't want to add another card to the mix, and they're flying free and staying free just fine. Could they do more if they had a companion pass? Probably, but they're doing what they want to do. So, again, credit cards and travel perks come and go, and we add them or remove them from our strategy as we continually analyze what is the best way to always fly for free. And just in the last 2 years, my strategy has changed quite a bit as we have seen some new, better, really, options come on the scene that make things even simpler. And that will continue to be the case. And if Southwest continues to make changes, we'll continue to always adjust and tell you if they are or they are not the best way to fly for free. And one of my longtime members, George, in fact, posted in our community today in response to the video that I had sent to the members explaining and analyzing the changes. And he just said, this was great information in explaining today's announcement of changes by Southwest. And he said, you will always have strategies for us to work around any changes the travel industry makes. And that is why we are a part of Families Fly Free and why everyone else should be also. And that's a good summary of it. If you really want to be on the inside and in the know, and have accurate, not clickbait information about what's going on. So keeping all this in mind, I have a big announcement that I want to share. So Families Fly Free is about to itself evolve, as we're talking about evolvement and changes. It's about to evolve and grow into something even bigger and better than it already is. So I'm decided to expand beyond flying for free and even just travel rewards in general, and to share with you all of my best travel tips and travel secrets that I've learned over the last 25 years as a travel journalist for outlets like USA Today, US News and World Report, The Today Show, and many others. I've written for many of those outlets for a long, long time. And I've learned so much by interviewing different travel experts and traveling to different places and staying at hotels and writing about them for these outlets. And so I've put all of these strategies and tips together inside this bigger and better membership. So you can learn my secrets to stress-free and hassle-free travel, as well as how to save as much as possible, which includes using travel rewards. So, inside this Evolve membership, you're going to learn my go-to destinations and what my notes for what I recommend seeing and doing there. You're going to learn about my favorite hotels, and I've stayed in hundreds of hotels around the world as the hotels contributor for US News and World Report. I've always loved writing about hotels and looking at the new technologies and the design, and how they're evolving and changing to serve customer needs. And I've stayed in so many great ones. How to get luxury travel perks and how to get things like upgrades at hotels and just a more VIP travel experience. I'm going to share the latest and my favorite must-have travel gear and so many more tips and tricks like this. And of course, it's going to continue to include my super popular Families Fly Free program and my Fly Free formula that has saved hundreds and hundreds of families tens of thousands of dollars. I know we're at a million plus in money saved with our families, as well as how to use travel rewards to get free accommodations and how to use them to save on trips to theme parks like Disney and Universal. So my Meet the Mouse course, which shows you how to use travel rewards at Disney and it works for Universal too, is now going to be folded into this more evolved program. So as part of it, you're going to get access to our world famous community of travel lovers. It's a private community, not on Facebook or any public space. That's super active and super fun. You're going to get my travel alert network. So you would get that video I sent out today, and you're always up to date on the travel news that I think you need to know. And it's going to come direct to your phone in your inbox with my analysis. You're going to get travel coaching direct with me. So you can ask any travel questions about trips you're planning or perks you want to get or travel rewards or cards. And we are going to host live travel webinars on all kinds of fascinating topics, multiple times every month. But before we launch this really cool new version of the membership, I'm going to be pausing enrollment in Families Fly Free sometime very soon. So I want to give you one last chance to be an OG original Families Fly Free founding member before we relaunch. And as a founding member, if you decide to join and become a founding member, you're going to lock in the renewal fee forever going forward. It will never change for you. You're going to get a special priority support email that will get you priority travel support of all our members and a special priority number to text if you prefer to get your questions answered that way. You're going to have lifetime status and recognition as a founding member, have access to founding member only Zoom and live events, as well as other special bonuses and perks and gifts throughout the year, as well as discounts and special content that will just be available to founding members. And to sweeten the deal, I'm rolling back the price to $9.95 before I pause enrollment only. And you can use code founding995. So the word founding and the numbers 995. So you can use that in the promo code box at checkout at familiesflyfree.com/join to get that $9.95 deal and to lock yourself in as a founding member. So I don't have an official pause date yet as I'm finishing up building out this amazing version, but it will be coming very soon because I'm really, really excited to get this launched. So I hope that you'll consider joining as a founding member. I think that's going to be a really special opportunity. And again, you can do that at familiesflyfree.com/join and use the code founding995. All right, so let's switch back to Southwest changes and talk about what this means for us. What actions do those of us who fly Southwest for free or want to, using points, need to make in order to navigate these changes that they have made? And again, it's really just a few minor modifications. It really is not a big deal, not at the moment. So first, make note of that May 28th date and try to do as much booking for travel you know you have coming up as you can before then. That might mean buying points at a good deal so that you have plenty of points to work with so you can, again, lock in. You're going to want to lock in this pricing before it starts to go up. You're going to want to continue to only book in points, you guys. Do not book these flights in cash because that's going to become more and more of a problem and they're going to become more and more inflexible. And consider booking things again right at this moment where we're seeing that the points price is particularly cheap compared to the cash price because we have hints that that may be about to change. And there's no harm in booking a Southwest flight in points because you can cancel it. And at least right now, you can cancel it, no harm, no foul, and just get your points put right back in your account. So there's no harm in booking it right now, knowing you can release it later. Make sure you don't end up with any travel credits. So that's part of that is booking in points instead of dollars. And then it's making sure at checkout that if you cancel a flight, that you return the taxes and fees back to your credit card. When it comes to this loss of 2 free checked bags, what I'm going to recommend that everyone do for now is because it says you get 1 free checked bag per card holder. I think the simplest thing to do here is going to ensure that each adult in your traveling party, so if we have spouses, the two of you or partners, or who knows, maybe it's a mother-daughter, whatever, that you each continue to hold a Southwest card. Now, I don't want you to open one when you don't need a companion pass, because when you do that, you waste your opportunity to use the points earned toward companion pass, and then you cannot get that card again for 2 years. So you don't want to waste that. But if you have a card right now, rather than close it, leave it open. If you think that you would like to both check a bag, that's going to give at least 2 checked bags, if you have 2 adults in your group. And so then you should be able to make up the rest with carry-ons if needed. They haven't said anything about what the pricing will be to check a bag, nor did they mention, they didn't say anything about charging for carry-ons, but that could be something else that we see coming down the line. But for now, they're saying carry-ons will continue to be free, so let's take advantage of that. Also, remember, if you're A-list, you get a free checked bag. So another thing I'm going to recommend is what you'll learn in Families Fly Free if you decide to join, become a founding member, is my new strategy to earn A-list this year, which again, I think is just increasing in value by the day. It's going to get you a assigned seat once they start assigning seats. And it's going to get you access to the extra legroom seats if they're still available 48 hours ahead of your flight. Now it's going to get you a free checked bag, and you're going to get to board earlier. And so it has become beneficial now. So I think that's something you might want to consider is, do you want to try to earn A-list this year, knowing it would be good through the end of 2026? When it comes to fares, you're either going to need to start booking Want to Get Away Plus after May 28th and beyond, or you're going to need to learn our workaround to use basic fares. And probably once they start assigned seating, if you want an assigned seat, you're going to need to book Want to Get Away Plus anyway. And that's going to require a few more points. So you're going to need to be comfortable that you have a strategy that's giving you plenty of points to book everyone with Want to Get Away Plus if you need. And then you're going to need to ideally know the different hacks and tricks that I teach inside of Families Fly Free, which helps our members pay fewer points for every flight. And I don't see any reason why those would change. It's all about knowing the Southwest system in and out and how to play it to the full, following all their rules, how to really maximize it. There's quite a lot you can do. And so that's going to be a way we're going to continue to be able to shave down the points price beyond the original published price. So we might have to book it at a particular price and then work it down, or you can use some of our other strategies where we're able to book things cheaper and then move things around after the fact. And those things are going to keep coming. They're going to evolve and change, and we're going to have new ones that work and some that don't work anymore. And we're going to stay on top of it, make sure you know all the best ways to pay the fewest possible points on Southwest. And this, compared with together with the Companion Pass, continues to be why they are the best airline to fly for free. If we can continue to bring someone for free with us on every flight with a Companion Pass, we can continue to work all these little nifty tricks and hacks that you can't with other airlines behind the scenes. That's going to be plenty of reason that they're going to remain at the top of the list of at least how to pay the fewest points for every flight, which means you can take more trips or you can bring more people with you, or both. So those are my recommendations of what actions I think you're going to need to shift or take in order to make this work. Again, really just comes down to maybe you have to book a higher fare with a few more points, and maybe you just each have a Southwest card to make sure you can get a free checked bag. I think those are really the two critical things. And then if you want to really make the most of it, join Families Fly Free and really learn our tricks and hacks and how to get A-list and really play this to the full and have access to what it means as they continue to make changes and additions as time goes on. Okay, so that's a good roundup of today's news from Southwest. Hopefully they'll give me a break and won't have any new major announcements or quiet shifts here for a little bit. If you have any questions about any of that, feel free to send me an email. I do personally answer all of my emails. A lot of people are surprised. They're always like, oh, I didn't expect an answer, but I'll answer you. So if you have a question, you can send an email to info@familiesflyfree.com. And I'd be happy to answer you. So that's it for now, everyone. Have a great week. If you're ready to fly your family free forever, I invite you to join my Families Fly Free membership. You'll learn how to stop paying for airfare throughout the US, Caribbean, and Europe so you can make those priceless family travel memories before your kids or even your grandkids leave home for good. And you'll learn it using my simple, proven formula that's helped hundreds of families. You can get more information at familiesflyfree.com/join.